Hey friends, welcome back. I'm Gabby. This is Skill Building for Handstands, and today we're talking tabletop and cat-cow movement. There's absolutely nothing basic about them if you approach them actively. Use them to warm up, throw them in during a practice or flow, work your spinal mobility, or focus on certain pieces of the handstand puzzle like shoulder protraction and serratus anterior muscle engagement found in cat spine. The serratus is one of the muscles connecting the shoulder blades to ribs. It helps shift and share power from arms to the upper body. Learning to engage it provides stability, and combining it with the other elements of cat spine adds more steadiness, strength, and a sense of lightness to your practice and movements. Find your stack and set up in tabletop. Hands flat on the floor, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, back neutral. Think about locking your arms into place and wrapping the triceps for stability, becoming a strong unit from arm to serratus. Wrapping the triceps means having active arms, pushing the ground away, and drawing the eye of the elbow forward. Wrapping the ribs is activating the serratus, and both work together to add to a stable base. To find cow spine, inhale and drop the belly. Pull the heart forward. Hips are untucked, hands and knees drawing towards each other, core is engaged, gaze is softly up, focus is less on the back bend and more on staying active and aware of your body. To find cat spine, exhale and curl, spread the scapula, push the ground away, wrap the ribs, hips are tucked, gaze is softly down. Focus on this feeling of activation. Remember it and bring it to other poses. Tucked and untucked is talking about the position of your pelvic tilt. Untucked is an anterior tilt. Hip bones tilt forward, like sticking your booty out. Tucked is finding a posterior tilt. Hip bones tilt back, pubic bone draws forward and up towards the belly. Learning to control this pelvic movement while keeping the rest of your body stable can help you with finding that balance in handstands, stacking, pressing, and moving around upside down. Looking at the upper body, we can find retraction, protraction, up and down movements, and rotation. We can find retraction, bringing the scapula together, drawing them towards the spine, and protraction, spreading the scapula and drawing the shoulder blades away from the spine. Moving up and down through rotation, through protraction and retraction can mobilize, strengthen, and build awareness in the upper body. When moving through cat-cows, focus on the breath, inhaling and exhaling, or on the opening and closing of your body as you arc and then round, or on your hands and arms as you pull your heart through and push the ground away. Or maybe bring attention to spinal articulation, moving the vertebra slowly one at a time. Explore different aspects, noticing any differences, staying active and moving mindfully. Now think about adding some ocean to your motion. So adding in fluidity and that wave-like motion is going to involve us going past our hands, behind our hands, and using the tops of our feet as anchors to really pull backwards. Find cat spine, tuck the pelvis, shift forward, shoulders going past your hands, then untuck the hips, letting them draw you up and back. The shoulders behind the hands, you retuck the pelvis, curl the spine as you shift forward, back and forth like waves. Maybe make the waves bigger and draw your hips all the way back into child's pose before rounding the back, retucking the hips, and following that energy forward, back and forth like waves. Get into your waves and see where they take you. This is a good place to breathe rhythmically, paying attention to all the feelings and sensations, melting the cues together to flow mindfully. Maybe now you focus on just the hips. Untucked to tucked, tilting from anterior to posterior, isolating the pelvis, moving only the hips, trying to keep the rest of the body stable and strong. And now just the upper body. Moving through retraction and protraction, drawing the shoulder blades together, then spreading them apart while you push the ground away and wrap the ribs. Up and down, open and close through rotation, isolating the movement to the upper body. And now we wiggle it out. Wiggle and circle. Allow the chest and hips to move in opposite directions, moving through cat and cow spine, then switching directions. Back and forth, up and down, through rotation, staying active and moving with control, saying hello to all the bits and pieces of the body. Now to the hips for a little mobility. So for hip mobility circles, we're really pressing into the ground and using our hands as roots, as well as the tops of our feet and toes to anchor us. And we're gonna lift one leg and bring it forward, bring it out to the side, behind, and back again. Keeping the body stable, trying to let this movement originate solely from that hip socket. Feeling your body work, maybe reversing that action. Pressing into your hands and foot. Not allowing ourselves to tilt, but really stay strong. So the next concept is kind of a biggie, and you can use it here and you could take it throughout the rest of your practice. When you have to bring your foot forward in a transition, think tuck and draw. Just remember that wherever your hips go, your feet will follow. So tuck and draw. Tuck the pelvis, draw the pubic bone forward towards your hands, and step. If our hips are untucked, it makes the distance between our hands and our hips farther, giving me more space that I have to cross over. So untucked, not so easy. Tuck and draw, easier. I hope that made sense. One more thing to keep in mind is whenever you have to take a step, placing your knee, tapping your knee or your foot, we're doing it softly, gently, with care, as lightly as possible. We're not plopping down on the mat, we're placing it. That action of trying to be as light as possible makes you really use and engage your core, which builds muscle memory. For the next few moves, the setup is going to be similar. Protract and spread the shoulder blades, wrap the ribs, and engage that serratus. Push the ground away, triceps wrap for strong arms. Tuck the pelvis and engage your core. Draw your pubic bone towards your hands, leading with the hips. Use hands, toes, and tops of the feet as anchors and roots to stabilize you. Knee to triceps. Spread the scapula and push the ground away. Wrap those ribs and tuck the pelvis to lift the knee and tap it gently to the back of the tricep. Then crossing it over and tapping the opposite tricep. Or extend the leg first, finding cat spine as you curl forward, pushing and tucking and wrapping to lift and tap that knee to tricep, and then crossing over and tapping the opposite tricep. Knee to nose. Seriously? To find more lift, find more cat spine. Gently tap knee to nose. To bring knee to nose, we have to lift that knee even higher. So we need to focus on pushing more, curling up and wrapping more, tucking and drawing even more to lift that knee and bring it gently to the nose and back. Extend the legs first for added movement. Curling the spine and pushing, wrapping and tucking as you bring your leg forward to tap your nose and back. Don't forget to shake out your wrists. So these next ones kind of suck, which is why we should practice them even more. Heel taps. Really push the ground away and wrap the ribs as you curl up to lift and tap the heel down between hands. Tuck the pelvis, draw it forward, hips closer to hands, lift and tap the heel down again. Add some extra movement with leg extension. Finding cat spine and that tuck and draw action as you shift forward, heel tapping gently down. If you want, you can take your heel taps one step further and go all the way through to lunge. Push the ground away, wrap the triceps, spread the scapula, lift the knee and lean forward, stepping the foot down between the hands and inhaling into lunge. Tuck and draw, putting the hips closer to your hands, then curling forward, stepping between the hands and rising into lunge. Or add that extension in, curling up and shifting forward, pushing as you bring that leg through to lunge. Bringing hands down to the mat and using cat spine to lift and extend that leg back out. The rest of the body stays stable through these movements. Maybe you're a glutton for punishment and you extend, knee to nose, tap down, lift to lunge, hands back down, knee to tricep, extend, and come back. All right, other side for good measure. So this next one is more of the same, it's just another variation. This time you're gonna take it to lizard. Same stuff, different step. Cat spine, step to outside of the hands. Wrap the ribs, tuck and draw. Lift and step lightly to the outside of your hand. Round the back, push the ground away. Keep that engaged cat spine to lift and bring the foot back. You can also extend first, finding your curl and tuck and push as you shift forward. You might even try finding cat-cow here. Inhaling and finding cow, exhaling and finding cat. Keep that cat spine and push the ground away to return to tabletop. Opposite arm and leg curls. Body is engaged, core is on, ready to stabilize. One arm extends out front, then the opposite leg extends out back. Inhale and curl, rounding the spine, drawing elbow in towards the knee. Think cat spine. Exhale and uncurl, sending them back out, maybe finding a little cow spine. Using the tops of the feet and toes as anchors as well as the hands. Really focus on pressing them into the ground to stay balanced. Now we throw in a little hover, hold, and twist. From tabletop, push the ground away, wrap the ribs, and allow the scapula to spread. Engage the core, tuck your toes, and lift both knees off the ground. Hover and hold here. Explore that sense of activation. You can twist from side to side, letting each knee tap down softly. And maybe send the hips up and back to down dog to dance it out. All right, so that was tabletop and cat-cow, some ways to think about them, some ways to move with them. So to recap a few things, wrapping your ribs is engaging that serratus muscle. Make that muscle one long, strong unit from your arms all the way down, and think about protracting the shoulders, spreading the scapula, tucking the pubic bone, drawing it forward. Take some of this back to your mat, play around with it, see what you can discover. Till next time.